Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears to some of the travails and trepidations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this particular story has kind of touches my heart because this is close to Chicago, and this is about a mother and the unfortunate circumstance that took place with her son. So here we go. Rock Island mother charged with hiding son's body in garbage can pleads guilty. The 38-year-old mother of a 10-year-old boy whose body was found in a garbage can pleaded guilty to a felony charge. Sushi Staples of Rock Island appeared in court in Rock Island County Court, where she pleaded guilty to and was found guilty of a felony charge of endangering the life or health of a child, according to court records. A body was discovered on July 2023. In July 2023, the body of 10-year-old boy was found in a garbage can. Rock Island Police Detective John Shepard earlier testified that the body of Zion Staples was found in a garbage can after someone called the police to tell them the boy was dead and that Staples was keeping his body in the basement. She said her ex-husband made up the story. She said her ex-husband made up this story about her son being deceased, and he was harassing her, and that's most likely where this is coming from, on the rumor and story that she had a son that passed away and she is not telling anyone. Shepard testified that Staples told police. Later, Shepard testified Staples said she paid someone $500 to make up a social security card and birth certificate so she could claim benefits on this deceased son that she's denying to the police that she had. She said several times she did not have a son, Shepard testified. Finally, two of Staples' other four children said Zion was playing with a handgun and accidentally shot himself. Eventually, Staples said she had moved Zion's body once she admitted that she did have a son and that he did die by a gunshot accidentally that he did to himself. Eventually, Staples said that she had moved Zion's body, which was discovered in the garbage can. She moved him from the basement to the garage about 2 months prior to July because she didn't want her other four children to locate him in the basement, Officer Shepard said. In every vent of the house, there was dryer sheets, Shepard testified. He said an autopsy revealed Zion died from a gunshot wound and that his death was accidental. Endangering the life or health of a child is a Class 3 felony in Illinois. The cap on Staples' sentence is 5 years, according to state records. So what took place was this young lady had 4 or 5 children. I think it was 4 girls and a boy. She had left to go to the store with a friend, and she got a phone call back from her daughter saying that Zion had found a gun and shot himself, and he was bleeding on the floor. She returned back from the store, and Zion had died. So instead of her calling the authorities, 911, and the whole thing, she decided to hide and encase his deceased body in a garbage can and placed it in the basement. Then, I guess with it weighing on her about what happened to her son and the following situations and decisions she made after that, she ended up telling a friend of hers what happened to Zion. I guess her conscience was weighing on her, and she told her friend that Zion had accidentally shot himself and died, and that she put him in a garbage can. And at one point, She even tried to set his deceased body. She even tried to set his deceased body on fire, and that didn't work. And she expressed this to her friend. Her friend subsequently couldn't believe the story, anonymously called the police to notify him. That's how she got exposed. When Officer Shepard came to her residence the first time, she said it was all made up and that her ex boyfriend's girlfriend was making up these stories and stalking her on Facebook, had multiple fake accounts, and was harassing Miss Staples. The officer didn't believe it necessarily. He wanted to search the house. She got very aggressive and said she never had a son. So he left. They got a search warrant and came back the next day. And the officers started asking her, well, if you didn't have a son named Zion, why did you file Social Security benefits on him? And she proceeded to say that she made up some story about it. She did not have a son. It was all a lie. And eventually, the stress got to her, and she finally admitted to the accident and incident where Zion accidentally shot himself, supposedly. She was not at the residence. They never came up if the gun was legal or illegal. Miss Staples, to me, in all indications, was an unfit mother. Some people should not be having children. She's got 5 kids as a single mother. Here again, another circumstance of a black family, fatherless home. Kids are raising themselves. Why is there a gun out in the open for any of her children to be able to handle it and retrieve it? And subsequently, this unfortunate circumstance took place, and then she didn't have any accountability for it. The other part is, why does she have a gun out where her 5 kids that are unattended could even get access to it? Nothing. Kids and guns are never a good scenario. And this was very unfortunate. His sisters, he ended up passing. And of course, his siblings are going to be devastated by this. Ms. Staples did plead guilty. She's doing 2 to 3 years in prison for it. And this family is going to be totally decimated and messed up as a result of this. But they were probably already messed up in the way she was raising them. This was, and I hate to say it, but being African-American black guy, this was a poor representation of a mom. And we have way too many families that are in these circumstances of fatherless homes. Evidently, mental illness has to be an issue. That's always at the precipice of many of these issues that are taking place within these homes filled with chaos and disruption. Anxiety, stress, depression are all real things that go undiagnosed all the time. Poor decision making, uneducated homes, and it sounds like that Miss Staples and her children were just trying to survive. But one poor decision can change one's life in a split second. And that's what took place, unfortunately, for Zion and for Miss Staples and the rest of her children's family. She pleaded guilty. And then mental illness has to be real because the way she even handled it after he passed. This is her biological son. And then she sticks him in a garbage can and then even tries to set him on fire at some point. So it has to tell you that mental illness was at a premium in this young lady's life and circumstances. And we have to manifest our truth in the right direction. The meal and the plate of life that we make for ourselves, we have to sit down and we have to eat it and face the truth. The truth walks in his own shoes, it eats his own flesh, and it never wavers. Tell me what you think about this very unfortunate circumstance out of Rock Island, Illinois, where Miss Staples, the mother, and her son Zion ended up shooting himself, and then she tried to deny it. What a crazy story.